global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. This is currently happening in Rivers State. There have been this talk about peace, that peace has returned in Rivers State. But most Nigerians and observers, especially those living in Rivers State, are beginning to wonder, practically, is there peace in the factions? Let's dive into the news to find out what is going on. While Riverians are calling out Amaewhule and others, as the likes of Jumbo and the rest, who dare to, put their head in support for Fubara, seem to be left behind. The question is why? How true is this? Let's find out in a moment. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. But as we currently speak, Rivers Lawmakers, that is Amaewhule, has led 26 others to the COP30 Climate Change Conference, leaving 4 constituencies behind. Now, Brazil, of course, this is taking place in Brazil. Honorable Amaewhule, the Speaker, Rivers State House Assembly, is currently in Brazil with 26 of his colleagues participating in the current COP30 Climate Change Conference taking place in Brazil. Now, recall that in October 2024, the Amaewhule-led faction was recognized by the Court of Appeal as the properly constituted Rivers State House of Assembly. Now, the Amaewhule faction then subsequently declared the seat of the 4 pro-Fubara members vacant for absenteeism and resolved to write to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to conduct by-elections to fill their seats. Now, in constituency, in February 25, 2025, which is this year, the Supreme Court had affirmed same in favor of the Amaewhule faction of the Assembly, but had advised that the status quo remains with the House constituted as ab initio. Now, the lawmakers affected are, for reference purpose, Honorable Edison Ehi Ahoada West, who is presently the Chief of Staff of Fubara, the Governor of Rivers State, Honorable Victor Jumbo from Brony local government area, then Honorable Sokari Goodboy, then the 4th person is Adolphus Timothy from Opobo, Unkoro. Now, it has been close to 2 months. The House has resumed normal legislative activities since the emergency rule was lifted without the participation of these 4 state constituencies as mentioned above. And from indications, the rights and privileges and the perks of office of all members in the House has been restored, including 350 million naira constituency project funds and SUVs gifted by ex-sole administrator Iwoki Ibas before leaving office. Now the issues. 1. Does Amaewhule and the other 26 lawmakers have the authority to terminate the membership of their fellow colleagues in the House as perpetual suspending them without recourse to law and conventions? These or those constituencies who have been deprived of representation, who would pay for the damages and losses they have incurred due to parochial politics of the individuals involved? Let's even align with Honorable Amaewhule and the 26 lawmakers, other lawmakers that the timeline to invoke absenteeism clause to sack these 4 lawmakers due and valid. Why has Amaewhule failed to fulfill this all-important obligation by prioritizing it to formally inform INEC of the obvious vacancies in the House and urgency to conduct by-elections to fill their seats so that their constituency can enjoy the dividends of democracy like others? Now, for the 4 lawmakers in question, why have they not resumed? And if they have faced any resistance to perform their lawful duties to represent their constituencies, why haven't they challenged it in court and constitutionally? What is also holding these constituencies to speak up and demand from the Rivers State Assembly on why they have been unlawfully deprived of their constitutional representation? This is quite serious. But then again, one may wonder what is really going on in Brazil. What's it all about? But let's quickly give you the intel or insight of what is going on in Rivers State, in Brazil. Now, for COP30 is actually holding in Belém, Brazil from November 10 to 21, 2025. Now, the conference is 30th United Nations Climate Change Conference and it's taking place at the Hunger Convention and Fair Center of the Amazon. Now, the main theme of it all is about the overreaching theme of COP30 to delivering on the Paris promise through a focus on implementation and scaling up existing climate action and specific thematic pillars. The financial goal, there is a call for global annual goal of $1.3 trillion by 2030, including $300 billion earmarked for Africa. Matters to Rivers State. Rivers State is the heart center for oil and gas activities in the Gulf of Guinea, as well as the major industrial hub of the Niger Delta region. The activities of oil and gas via gas flaring and heating from industrial processes are huge source of carbon pollution and impacting the environment negatively. Although the visible impacts of flooding and suits are very evident and possible existential threat to inhabitants of the region, from displacing people from their homes, impacting food production, as well as causing diseases and death, thus it becomes compelling for local legislation to align and move to with the global expectations and best industrial practices for more responsive climate governance in a bid to achieve the Paris Agreement Charter. But just let's look at this very nicely. Whether we like it or yes, when there's some certain amount of money, it means also that those who participate, we also have a way of if you can prove with a very strong evidence that you are a particular to that, your community or environment is implementing or is affecting the climate negatively. Of course, you can be your community, your country, your community, your state can be a particle of that chunk amount. So it's quite it's a strategic one for these guys, I must say. But that's not even where we are headed. Where we are headed is the fact that up till today, one would understand why Edison he did not come in. Edison he had actually officially resigned, having been given an appointment as the chief of staff of Fubara. And of course, like we gathered fairly recently, he doesn't need to go through the protocol of going through the Rivers State Assembly to get nominated. It's the prerogative right of the governor to do that, and he has done that. But the remaining three, is amazing that up to now, I don't know if they are now counting absenteeism for them, and if they are, like we rightly pointed out, who are those representing their constituency, and the constituency not being abandoned, and why are they also not speaking up? Why is Okojumbo not speaking up? Have they tried going to the assembly and they bounced them? Is there a physical fear that there could be an assault if they attend the assembly? And why is Fubara of Rivers State not addressing this matter? Well, because let's tell ourselves this truth. These guys, stuck their neck for him. So at this rate, he should be able to intervene, or better still, speak to their principal, which is Yeso Wike, the FCT minister, on this matter. This guy should at least complete their 2 years quietly and move on. But then again, that's to go wrap it up. What's your take? Let's meet in our comment section. Let's brainstorm.